I'm trying to think of more things that are log-shaped, I guess.
I don't think they have to be log-shaped.
Log-shaped. Poo-poo.
All right, so Ina wants to eat shit. Hey everybody, welcome to Fess Up, where the Fess sisters help spice up your conversations with unique and thought-provoking questions. That's right, we're breaking the ice with a sledgehammer. My name is Amy, and I am a Fess with the dress.
What?
That's my intro.
Okay. I am Marissa, and I am a Fess. That's a mess.
And my name is Ina, and I'm the Fess that's the best.
That doesn't rhyme, it has a T.
That's a half rhyme.
Fine. I'm the Fess in distress.
That is a good one. That's a great one.
That is hilarious.
I have a lot of pet peeves. But one thing that bugs me a lot is when you go to the movies or you pay for a movie and you're super excited about it. There are all these great commercials and great advertisements and it just looks so good. And then you watch it and it either is just like okay or it's terrible. You know, like I hate when that happens. Even when it's just all right, I feel stupid for having been so excited to see it.
I feel that. I really want to see that movie, Marry Me, for no good reason at all, just because it looks so hilarious, but I'm afraid to pay money to see it, because what if it turns out to be just like a subpar, chick flick movie, and I go and pay money to see it, because I don't know about how it is upstate anymore, but down here, movies are fucking $25 a ticket, so I'm really shelling out big bucks to see this movie, and if it ends up being just subpar when I could have waited 2 or 3 months to see it on fucking Netflix or whatever, that's gonna be so upsetting to me.
We're not quite to 25, but we're definitely at 13 plus. But yeah, I mean, especially with comedies, I start hating trailers. I don't watch trailers most of the time because they'll give you all the best parts. This happened to me a lot as a kid. I would watch a commercial and the movie would be so funny looking and all these ads. It was hilarious. I would crack up and then you would watch the movie and you come to find out those were the only jokes in the whole movie. And the rest of it is really deep or really sad or just really boring.
Yeah, I pretty much only watch commercials now if it's for a movie that I know that I'm definitely going to see, or if I just happen upon it in a movie theater.
Yeah.
I don't seek out trailers anymore if I can help it.
I try not to watch trailers also. I'll watch maybe the first trailer released for something.
Yeah.
If people are hyped about it or some reason. But I usually try to skip it because they spoil it. And it just happened to me so many times as a kid where it's this movie's hilarious. And you get there and you're oh, I already know the jokes.
Yeah.
And there aren't any other ones.
I will pretty much consistently watch every nerd trailer that comes out. So any Marvel, DC, Star Wars trailer, I will be watching that shit because I'm too much of a nerd. But
I can't. I'll watch the first one, but I don't want to spoil all the good stuff either.
Well, that's the thing, though, is those nerd things have consistently proven to me that they will bring up more things than I even imagine there being in there. So I'm satisfied to watch a trailer.
True.
Also, they don't give away too much because they know people are going to see it anyway. So they're as long as we show the characters doing cool shit, they have no idea what's coming, and we could just show ambient shots and have a voiceover of our main character, and people will still pay money to see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Marvel, they sometimes have dialogue that's not even in the final cut of the film.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't even tell their actors half the time what happens in the movie. Anyway, I paid for a movie recently, and the thing that bothered me was that somehow this movie got me to care for months. I found out it was happening, and I was that sounds amazing. And the next 2 months, I was yeah. Anytime I saw a commercial or an advertisement, I was yes, I can't wait. And I just watched it, and I was just so deeply disappointed.
Name drop that movie.
Cyrano.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to see Cyrano so bad.
No, you don't. That's the thing.
I do. I want to see it. You didn't like it?
No. It was disappointing.
Cyrano?
I know.
You can watch it when it's free.
Yeah, watch it when it's free.
I'll do that.
It's a box office flop. I was like, oh, that doesn't signify. People just aren't going to the movies. And then it signified.
I see. I'll watch it when it comes out for free. Thanks for the heads up.
I think it'll be less disappointing if you didn't pay for it, but we did.
Yes.
And I was like, why?
Peter Dinklage is amazing, though. Like,
Of course.
acting
Yeah.
is
That's the
fabulous.
reason I want to see it. I'm obsessed with that man.
Yes, he is fabulous.
The music was really bad. It was so bad. And the singers, there wasn't a good singer in the whole movie, except one extra.
It was
One extra was a pretty good singer. You know what's bad when that sticks in your head? Like, after the movie, even Mom, who's tone deaf, was like, hey, that extra was, like, the best singer. I was like, I know.
Man, I want to be that extra. Damn.
I know, right?
know.
That was my favorite scene in the movie, to be honest.
This is the best song in the movie. It's sung
hilarious.
only by extras.
Sung only by extras. Oh.
It was.
Speaking of extras, I got a text last night. The show We Crashed came out. At the time we're recording this, it came out yesterday. It came out on the 18th. And I worked on that show all summer as an extra, but they kept calling me back. So I have a feeling I'm going to be in the background of a lot of these scenes. And my friend, who was also an extra on that, messaged me and said, I just saw you in We Crashed. So I'm at least seen in one thing.
Yes.
There you go.
But there are some moments that we were doing what they call in the biz tiling. So what you have to do is if there's a big crowd scene, they'll bring like lots of people to the set. So like it'll be a day with like 200 background on the set. But what they do is to make it look like a crowd of 10,000, they will literally do the same shot over and over and over again and just like have everybody bunch up in like the front left corner and do all the reactions. And then they'll go just behind the front left corner, mix everybody up so they're in a different order and do the exact same shit again. And then in post, they just take and copy paste all the people from all the different things to make it look like a big full crowd. So I am in that scene about 58 times. Tiling is the most, makes you want to just jump off a bridge. It is so mind-numbing. And by the end of it, you like know the entire scene by heart and you're like, I hate this scene now. Even if it was a good scene at the beginning, after 58 times of having to be enthusiastic about whatever's being said, you're like, I am over this shit. So I cannot wait. And what I want to do is pause that and play a drinking game and just sort of take a shot every time I see myself in that fucking crowd.
Yes.
I will be sloshed.
Incredible.
If you watch it in that crowd scene, I have a bright rainbow flower crown on my head, and I feel like that's going to stand out a lot.
That will.
Amazing.
Apparently, a lot of people in that crowd have that flower crown, you know? They were probably selling it somewhere nearby.
Yeah, must have been, right?
There was a vendor.
Well, I'm incredibly jealous because you got to be close to my girl Anne Hathaway, and I'm so jealous because she's my longest lasting and biggest celebrity crush.
Yeah, many times I got to be around her.
I'm so jealous.
There was one scene I got to walk directly behind her.
That's amazing.
Disrespectful, honestly.
It really is, honestly. Like, how dare you get to be in her presence and not me?
Exactly.
Move to New York!
Ooh.
Anyway.
That's why, because you won't make the effort for Annie. I made the effort for Annie.
I do love Annie.
You gotta make the effort. All right, guys. How about our first question?
Ooh, how about it?
What is bologna if not hot dogs for people who like pancakes?
I mean, I think that question answered itself. I mean,
It kind of did.
that's what it is.
I was just thinking one of you guys would be viscerally opposed to it like you usually are.
I mean, no, it makes perfect sense.
That's the thing, is it's very true, but I've honestly kind of always thought of it more like the opposite way, where hot dogs are just rolled up bologna. You mash it together.
I have to take offense with this question a little bit, because what are they if hot dogs for people who like pancakes? Like, people who like pancakes are not here like, what if this pancake were trash meat? Like, that's not... People who like pancakes are out here like, I like this fluffy, sweet bread stuff, and I put even more sweet sauce on it, and maybe a little bit of butter that's salty, and it's delicious. They're not out here like, okay, but like I see this sausage link that is made of literally the parts of the pig we don't want, and I would think that it'd be great if I just kind of smashed it with a mallet and ate it like my favorite food, the pancake. Like, no.
You know what? That's a good point, Link. It implies that people only like pancakes for the shape.
Yes. I know. I think the shape is the part that people care about the least. You could roll a pancake up and eat it like a fucking hot dog. I think they'd be fine with it still.
Okay, well, what foods would you hate to eat in a different shape?
Yeah, I think what else can we turn into a pancake shape, and how will we feel about it?
Mm-hmm.
Banana pancake, but not like because there's banana in the pancakes, because I took a mallet and went psh, psh,
You
psh,
smashed a banana?
Yes.
See, I think I would dislike that because I don't like it when the banana gets too mushy, and that's literally making it mush.
It would all fall apart. That would be worse. It would be worse.
It will be worse. What would be better, though?
This is an audio nightmare.
Aww.
I'm trying to think of more things that are log-shaped, I guess.
I don't think they have to be log-shaped.
Log-shaped. Poo-poos.
All right, so Ina wants to eat shit.
Only if it's shaped like a pancake, though.
Yeah, a pancake shit. She wants to, like, eat the dog poop after someone's stepped in it.
No.
I'm just trying to think of something that'd be better if it was a flat pancake shape.
What if you pancaked a pancake and made an ultra-thin pancake?
A crepe? You're describing a crepe.
That is a crepe.
Well, who doesn't like those?
Crepes are good.
You know what would be funnier and less horrifying?
What?
If you took worms and made them disc-shaped like a pancake. I think that would be entertaining.
To eat?
It would be entertaining, but the poor birds.
Yeah.
I don't think I would like that, though.
Birds prefer a hot dog shape for their worms.
Well, what if some birds have a preference for pancakes?
Also, imagine what the worm would look like burrowing out of your lawn. You would just have trenches in your fucking lawn because these goddamn things have like massive disc heads.
But they would like fly out of it kind of like a manta ray.
I don't think that they're flying.
Well, not fly, but you know what I mean. Slither.
It doesn't matter because the hole left behind would be massive. And the hole that they tunneled underground would be massive.
I mean, that sounds like the ground's problem.
It's our problem because we have the lawns and you gotta walk on your lawn, and then when you fall into a goddamn pothole made by a worm coming up.
Oh, how big are you imagining these things?
Like pancake sized.
Pancake sized? No, just the shape.
Even if they were tiny, like, unless they're dime sized, but that's not the case. If you flatten out that worm, it'll be at least maybe like a mandarin size, but flat. Like the cuties.
Yeah, sure.
You know the cuties.
Yeah.
But that would still be like a hefty circle to come out of the ground and leave some shit behind, especially if they're like doing it a whole bunch when it rains and shit.
I think you somehow were a lot more concerned about lawn maintenance than I've ever been in my whole life.
Which is funny because you live in a walk-up apartment.
You don't have a lawn.
When you have no lawn, you think about what would happen if you had a lawn. Also, I'm just thinking about when you walk outside, and I know how it used to be when we lived upstate. It rains one time, and then your entire driveway and your whole life is filled with worms. And you think of nothing but worms for that moment, and then you do not think of worms again until it rains next. And if those were discs, yikes.
So what you're saying is it would be full of tiny baloney.
To be fair, I think I've seen them flattened like pancakes now that you mention it. Like in the road.
Oh, God!
And that is the true way that birds eat pancakes.
That's a good point.
I have an answer to the original question. A salad would be better if it were a pancake.
What?
That's just like eating a giant blended lettuce leaf.
If you get your salad, mush it together and get it to stay together and have all your salad components, but it were flat and you could just bite into it as opposed to using the fork and having to poke all the different things. I would like to eat a salad more if it was like a pancake, and then I could drizzle my dressing on it all over it like I can with a pancake.
So you're saying you want it to be in a disc form.
Yes, I want a disc salad.
I mean, that's a good point. It would be a lot more convenient that way.
And then if you wanted, you could do the silly thing people like to do with pancakes where they don't use a fork. They just kind of pick it up with their hands. And you could do that with the salad. And I feel like that would be way more fun to eat a salad.
Honestly, I can't lie. That's how I was imagining it in my head. I'm a heathen. I was like, you would just pick it right up like it was some kind of quesadilla.
And it'd be a little crunchy, and I love a crunch.
Crunches are good.
Anyway, so now that I've won that question, it is time for a bit.
A bit?
A bit. A bit.
What?
Why? You're making yourself laugh.
This bit is called Make a Movie.
Ooh.
In this bit, we are going to pitch a movie about a random topic, complete with ideal casting choices and a title. And usually, when we do this bit, we have one person come up with the plot, one person come up with the characters, and one person come up with a title. But we're not doing that this time, because we just learned about Bakku, and if you do not know Bakku, Bakku, he is the hottest, hunkiest Hutt that has ever existed. He has like an 8-pack and these jacked arms, and God is he sexy. And you can tell he doesn't smell or have slime on him at all. So now that we know that Hutts can be hot, we realized that hot Hutts like Bakku need their own movie, because not all Hutts have to be uggos with bad hygiene. So we're gonna pitch to you today a movie about some sexy Hutts.
Ooh.
That's exciting.
Yes, so here we go, the Bakku story.
So, first things first, Bakku needs a love interest. You know what I'm saying? We need more hot Hutts up in here.
We need like a sexy model Hutt.
Yes.
And she's probably Miss America, and by that I mean Miss Coruscant, probably.
Yes, Miss Coruscant.
Does she wear wigs, or does she rock the bald thing?
No, she doesn't need wigs. Natural beauty for Hutts is the bald. Maybe she wears like really nice hats.
Ooh, I like the idea of a nice hat. She's probably she loves an accessory is what I'm trying to get at here.
Yes.
Maybe she's like dabbled as like a talk show host. Maybe she's a movie star.
I think she's done it all.
Some sexy lady Hutt.
I feel like to show a wider range of what Hutts can be, she should be like thinner and like curvier, you know what I mean? Show some more shape up in here. Cause Bakku, he's showing that like muscle man shape. So we gotta get some of that like more of an hourglass figure instead of the female Hutts just having saggy boobs on top of a regular Hutt-shaped body.
I don't know that she would be hourglass. I feel like that's not something that Hutts can be, but
Hutts shouldn't be able to have abs either, but here we are.
maybe she got a boob job or implants to give her more of an hourglass. I don't know. Maybe she Kim K'd that.
No, but here's the thing. Hutts have boobs. I've seen that. Gardula the Hutt had saggy boobs. So why can't this Hutt have big boobs?
Yeah, she can have perky big boobs. Like, I'm not mad about that. What's her name, though?
Why don't you decide?
Do they have a Hutt name generator? Let's look.
Generator?
Yeah, they have Star Wars name generators.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant you wanted to give her the name Generator.
What, you don't think her name should be Generator?
Generator the Hutt.
I definitely think her name should be Generator.
Generator the Hutt.
I guess her name's Generator.
Wait, first I do want to see.
They call her Jen for short.
I'm loving this more and more, but I really just want to look for 1 second to see if I can find like an actual name.
I think like across this galaxy far, far away, Jen, the name Jen is kind of like Beyonce, you know? It's like a mononym. It's just Jen. But if someone asks to elaborate, it's Generator the Hutt.
Generator the... Okay, I found Hutt names. So just for fun, we're going to look at a couple. We have Skelgox Chulrad the Hutt.
That's her father.
Fanjay Wimmel the Hutt.
That's her mother.
Sigrin Groosh.
Skelgox and Fanche.
Who's Sigrin Groosh?
That's her ex-boyfriend before Bakku.
Dreyer Tanjay.
Wait, what was the name before that? Because I feel like her ex-boyfriend was her agent.
Definitely.
She dated him until she made it big, and then she realized, I don't need you anymore, and dumped his ass.
I don't need you anymore. I have absolutely overcome you.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. This is her best friend, who's also hot. Dandy Cuse?
Dandy Cuse?
But Dandy is Dandi, and then Cuse is Kheus.
Dandy Cuse. I love
That's
that.
so cute. I'm obsessed with Dandy Cuse.
Dandy Cuse, the best friend of Generator. They're both movie stars, but Generator is obviously like the biggest star in the galaxy. I like the idea that like the Beyonce of the whole galaxy is a really hot Hutt.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Generator is like the more talented, does the higher budget roles, but Dandy is the one that like is more beloved by fans because she does like a lot more social media stuff. So she's like super active on social media and like does a lot of fun cameos for people. And so she's like more grounded and touchable seems like a bad word to say, but like
Attainable.
Whereas you see Jen on the street and you're like, oh my God, it's Jen. And you're starstruck. And you see Dandy, you're like, oh my God, Dandy, I heard she's like the sweetest. Let's go get a picture.
Yes. Jen, you already know she does not take selfies. You have to come to her official press meetings.
Yes.
And conventions and get in line for that sweet, sweet selfie.
Yes. Generator.
Generator the Hutt.
So Bakku is her current boyfriend, right?
Yes.
And Bakku is the cousin of Jabba.
Yes.
But I do think that Bakku is in the like Mr. Outer Rim circuit. Like he's bodybuilder and that's why he works so hard. Model. Because he's the cousin of Jabba, but Jabba got Empire.
Yeah.
Jabba and that main family is like, they're the cartel, they're those guys. And so Bakku didn't really have to go into that because it was already claimed. So he had to make a life for himself elsewhere. And what he did was just use whatever money he got from his parents and put it into himself. That's his career is just like hot model.
Absolutely. Here's my question. This is slightly off the topic of Bakku again and back to Generator. Who has more money, Generator or Jabba?
Generator.
I feel like Jabba does because of...
He has a literal empire.
Yes, but Generator has more legal money that is...
That's fair.
That's true. That's true.
She has to launder nothing.
She doesn't have to go hound those fucking scoundrels for the money they didn't bring back on their latest mission.
Yeah, basically she has ambition and Jabba doesn't, so that's kind of like what happens when you have wealth. Like, you can either make an empire out of it, or you can passively sit there and make everybody do the work for you.
You know how you can tell Jabba inherited his position instead of earned it? His physique.
Yes.
Because he can just sit there and have everyone do stuff for him. But, like, if he had started out, no one would just do things if he snapped his fingers. Like, someone had to have given him that. And that person, whether that was his father, grandfather, or whatever, someone had to be jacked just like Bakku.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whoever was the first of the Hutt clan, they had to be a Bakku type.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, nobody was carrying them around. They had to move it with their little sluggy body and beat them up with their buff-ass arms.
So now that we've done character building, what happens in this film?
Well, first, are Generator and Bakku dating at the beginning of this story?
No. I think Generator just broke up with her ex.
Okay, she just broke up with her agent. Maybe we open on her breaking up with her agent. Dandy is there to comfort her because even though she did the breaking up, it's still going to be sad. So you get to immediately see that relationship.
You see this glamorous world she's a part of.
Yeah, she probably immediately has to be whisked out on stage for like some talk show appearance or whatever.
Yeah.
So you see her like cry, but then you see her like toughen up immediately, and like you would never know that this girl was just really sad.
Yeah, how could she be sad when she's so beloved?
And that's when Britney Spears' Lucky starts playing in the background.
Yes, but only it's spoken in a Hutt language.
It's a Huttese version.
They sing it in Huttese.
Usawata.
And then it flips over to Baku's world. I think it's going to go back and forth between them. And there's a lot of juxtaposition, right? Because she's this glamorous world. He's this low-level mobster.
No, because he's already Mr. Outer Rim.
Mr. Outer... Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Bakku doesn't live that life. Bakku's also famous. This is like, we don't even have to talk about where the Hutts came from, because we know. And maybe we could see it a little bit, like maybe Bakku goes and sees his family, and they're like, I can't believe that you like wanted to be Mr. Hottie when you could have been like Mr. Mobster type. And Bakku's like, I just want to be recognized for my looks. Is that so hard?
I think Jabba's trying to recruit him back in, because he's like, we need some more muscle as part of
Oh, maybe that's it.
We need a lot more muscle as a Hutt. So Bakku is torn. He's like, should I stay in the spotlight as this hot model, or should I go where the money is?
He then decides, I really, really like being a model. I'm not so sure how I feel about Tatooine. It's not my favorite planet.
It's not a sexy planet.
It's not a sexy planet for a sexy beast like me. So he's like, yo, Jabba, let me think about it for a minute. And Jabba has no other choice but to let him think about it. Because Jabba, he's not going to kill family unless he really needs to. Bakku, he decides to go on a little trip. See if he can find something that feels more fulfilling without the money. And that's when he meets Jen.
Okay, so Bakku gets some time from Jabba. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna do my own thing. And he meets Jen. But, how does he meet Jen? Are they both, maybe they're both put on a shoot together. Maybe he's like, yo, Jabba, I'd love to fucking off the rip, answer you this, but my agent is texting me telling me I have to be on a model shoot right now, so I'm needed on another world.
Does his agent pick him up because he just broke up with Jen and he needs a new big star?
You know what? I love this. Yes.
He recruits another Hutt because he's like, what does this world want except sexy Hutts? Because our biggest star was one.
Hutts are in.
So let's just go recruit Bakku. He ends up getting Bakku into this huge film with Generator. And he does that just so he can rub it into Generator that he has a new client, but also kind of be around, be like, hey, take me back, baby, you know?
Yeah, but I do think that first, before he gets in this new movie, he does meet Generator by being in a photo shoot with Generator. He was supposed to be, it's the cover of some magazine. So he gets put on this magazine cover shoot, and then he runs into Generator. The first physical attraction is there, so that when he gets this call from a new agent who's like, I want to represent you and get you into film, he's like, that seems like a logical next step. And he could go and tell Jabba, fuck you, I'm doing movies. It's been real. I'm going to be more famous than you. And Jabba's probably pissed, but, what can he do? It's fine. He'll just go recruit some more, Gamorreans. I think that's what they're called. The pig guys that I love, who are also inexplicably in Sleeping Beauty.
Literally, why is it exactly them in Sleeping Beauty?
I know. I've always thought that. Anyway, so,
Sleeping Beauty came first, you know.
There you go. Star Wars has always subliminally wanted to be bought by Disney, and that is the first indication of such a thing. But yeah, so then he gets put on this movie. The agent is trying to get Jen's attention. Jen is like, I'm not interested in you. I have my eyes on somebody else. And he's like, what? She's like, yeah, I have my eyes on somebody else. And so, they don't get to test their love. But they do have a makeout scene in the movie. And that's where, they can first, see if they're compatible. And that kiss, oh my God, sparks are flying. They, never thought they'd fall for Hutts. They didn't think that Hutts were their type. But man, are they two sexy Hutts.
But I thought that her ex was a Hutt also.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
Yeah, but she didn't think she was going to be with him forever.
True. She was riding his coattails to the top. She was using him.
She was like, you were just the moment. You were not the end game. But wait, what if Bakku, maybe because of the agent setting them up or whatever, he's like, this is for publicity. You need to date a high-profile Hutt. You need to date Dandy. And so he and Dandy get into a relationship. Dandy's not super into him, but they're doing it for publicity.
Boosts both of their reputation.
Yes. He's like, we can't ever get Jen, but also I want to keep Jen single for me. So you're going to date Dandy. But the sparks have flown between Jen and Bakku. That kiss was magical that they had on set. So now it's a whole thing. They have to go behind closed doors. They got to try to see each other in secret so that the agent of Bakku doesn't get pissed and the best friend of Jen doesn't get pissed.
And can we have just a throwback scene in which Bakku and Jen are secretly hiding out and they're having dinner and they share a pear?
You gotta share a pear.
They gotta share a pear.
But can it be a frog? Because that's what Hutts like to snack on.
Yes. He'll launch it over. You know, he doesn't have the force, but he'll launch it over so it flies over and she'll catch it with her fork just like that.
Well, that makes me feel like, what if he did have the Force? And he's just like a Force-sensitive Hutt, but it was like never discovered, never recognized. So like he's not trained in the Force, but he does have.
He's like, oh, is that what that is?
He has enough of the Force to be able to like move frogs across a table and like help him with like. I wanted to say lifting weights, but I feel like that's bad because he's earned every muscle by himself.
He really has.
He's like done a little bit throughout his life that it's like this untapped potential he has.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they never get caught, because he always has this weird sense in his head, a disturbance in the Force, if you will, when people are coming around the corner. So they can always stop making out just in the nick of time.
I think the one thing that's going to take this from just a rom-com to being slightly adventurous, like slightly more closer to regular Star Wars media, is if Jabba gets super pissed and he decides, you know what, I'll just take him out then. If you're not gonna work for me, I'll kill my own cousin, who cares? And he sends a bunch of people to go kill him.
He puts a bounty on him.
Yes.
Then you get a lovely scene about life insurance policies on fucking Bakku because he's a star. And they're like, well, if you take out the star of my fucking movie, Jabba, actually, that would be really interesting if it can juxtapose like underground crime boss with like high profile Hollywood boss. Who wins in that scenario?
Amy, I figured it out.
Yes.
Oh, the ex-boyfriend finds out that Bakku is getting together with Jen behind his back. He goes and tells Jabba, hey, I'll help you take him out. I've already taken out this huge-ass star in life insurance policy for my client. If he dies, I'm going to get a huge payoff.
No!
And it gets rid of him so that Jen can be mine. It's all come together.
But it all goes wrong. He tries to kill Bakku. It does not go as planned. And you know who ends up killing the agent, the ex-boyfriend? Dandy.
Yes.
Dandy kills
Dandy.
the agent because he almost, in some way, like almost kills Jen. And she's like, I'm protecting my best friend. And she kills him.
Huzzah.
Wait, can we have them end in a polyamorous threesome relationship?
Honestly, I'm not opposed to that shit.
Why not?
Yes. Dandy saves him, and Jen and Bakku are like, oh my god.
Because I do think there's like some underlying sexual tension between Dandy and Jen.
Yes.
Yes. By saving her life, Dandy then just reveals her true feelings for Jen.
Yes. And she's like, I'm in love with both of you. And then they're like, oh my god, you just saved our lives. And then...
And Bakku's like, I was already dating you and you, so it was working for me to have both of you.
And then Jen realizes that she's always loved Dandy too, and so they might as well just make a go of it. Be a throuple.
Hutts and a throuple. I feel like that makes sense for Hutts.
It does.
Hutts just like are not, I don't feel like they're a monogamous society.
You know, nothing has told us they are or aren't, so we can decide. We're making this movie.
I love this. Do we have any casting ideas? Obviously, it would be mostly voices.
Right. What's just a really sexy low voice that we can give Bakku?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yes.
That does matter. He could just wear a mocap suit because he's already got the muscles.
Yeah, they put the mocap all over his muscles to see how the muscles will move.
Yes. Okay, so I guess Chris Hemsworth is our Bakku.
Perfect. We love it. That means when Bakku is speaking Terran, or whatever English is called in that galaxy, he has that sweet, sweet accent going.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
As he should.
I do think that Dandy should be voiced by Annie Murphy, who is Alexis Rose in Schitt's Creek.
Yes. Definitely. It's gotta be.
Yes.
But who has the charisma enough to be Jen?
Zendaya.
No. I feel like she's got to have a more mature voice. She's got to have an older voice than that. You know who always ends up in science fiction worlds, but I don't think has ended up in Star Wars yet?
Who?
Zoe Saldana.
Oh,
True.
I can get behind that shit. I
Yeah.
knew you were going to say Zoe Saldana, too. I don't know why I didn't say it.
Well,
But yes, you're absolutely right.
And because she's in it, that means it'll become one of the highest grossing films of all time.
as it
Yes!
should.
As it should.
As basically all of her movies do.
Okay, and then who plays the evil ex-boyfriend?
The evil ex-boyfriend.
Patton Oswalt.
Okay, but here I have this fabulous idea because Patton Oswalt, who doesn't love Patton Oswalt? No
True.
one. He's got the best voice ever.
He does.
But I think to give it that extra mystery factor, right, and make it really science fiction sounding, they should take Patton Oswalt's incredible voice and then like lower it to give it this like really strange Hutties quality.
Uh-huh.
I think that would sound really cool.
I mean, I'm down to hear what that sounds like.
Right? He just has this like fabulous timbre to his voice that I'd be fascinated to hear in a deeper tone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
How have we never talked about Patton Oswalt on this podcast before? Because I love him.
I do love him too. Okay, before we get into talking more about Patton Oswalt, we must come up with the name of this movie.
Okay.
Too hot to handle.
My God! Oh my God! That's it! That is it! And Netflix will sue us, but I don't care!
It's too perfect.
It's too good.
It's too perfect.
You heard it here first, Hollywood. Too hot to handle. Honestly, you could have that one for free. I just want to see it made.
Yeah,
Honestly,
please do it.
instead of two, like TOO, it could literally be like the number 2. Too hot to handle.
There you go, yeah.
And then the surprise twist is they end up with 3 huts.
3 hot to handle.
Yeah. That's the fun irony.
Yes. Yeah, Hollywood, I don't care. You could take that one. I genuinely just want to see this get made. So if
We
you
just
could make
cast
that.
it already, you know, we don't have to be a part of it. You just go
Yeah,
do it.
this is the first one. You don't have to put me. Maybe if you wanted to be nice, you could throw like all of us like a writing credit, but
Yeah.
like just make it. Honestly, I don't care. I just
Yeah.
want to enjoy this.
Please do.
So this is where our ads would go if we had any. We don't because we have yet to make money off of Too Hot to Handle. Are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
Speaking of ripped characters, why is Superman buff? Shouldn't he be scrawny because nothing is heavy enough to give him a good resistance workout?
Well, maybe he's been lifting Bakku.
Ah!
Maybe he flies over to a galaxy far, far away every weekend and just bench presses Bakku, who's gotta be just like the densest piece of meat out there, you know? Because of how much muscle he's packed in there.
Like, do you think he does fly into space to get these workouts in?
Absolutely.
Like, the only thing that can get his resistance is gravity? No, that would not help.
I think that flying is like jogging for him, you know? That's his cardio. So he flies all the way out to a galaxy far, far away, you know? And that's like a really good workout run for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe the gravity on Coruscant is a lot heavier than it is on Earth. So that adds to his resistance training even.
Maybe.
Okay, but what if, let's just say, perhaps, if our universe is not connected to the Star Wars universe, because this is DC and not Marvel, so...
Good point. Disney doesn't own it.
Disney does not own DC
So we
yet.
can't cross it over yet. Yet being the operative word, because one day Disney will own everything.
Yes.
Well, here's my question to you. How do we know that for a Kryptonian, he isn't scrawny?
A fair point.
Maybe that's just what they look like. Maybe he has bones that are in the shape of muscles.
Oh my
so
God.
we think that he's muscular, but in fact, that's just the way his skeleton is. And he's really skin and bone.
He gets punched really hard one time and, like, his fucking pectoral is caved in because it's broken.
The person feels something crack. They're like, I shattered my hand punching that chest in. And there's just like he cracks open like Humpty Dumpty. They're like, what is this, an exoskeleton? He's like, no, that's my regular skeleton.
It's
in
an
there."
endoskeleton.
Endoskeleton, I
An
believe.
endoskeleton.
Cracking them muscles. That's my theory, anyway. And it's mine.
I mean, it seems plausible to me. He probably just does like sit-ups and push-ups and stuff, and his own body's enough for it.
I don't think it is. Here's the thing. Maybe he does that at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, aka the deepest point on Earth with the most pressure possible, you know? And that's where he gets the resistance from.
All right. That makes sense. Yeah, he brought some equipment down there.
He can lift anything. And that's a problem, is that, like, the gravity of regular Earth does not help, like, is not weighing him down enough to actually give him any resistance.
He's been known to spin the Earth in the opposite direction. Like, clearly his own body is nothing to him.
That's true.
He can fly, so obviously he's not too heavy to go against gravity. I like the Marianas Trench idea.
Mariana's Trench idea is good, but can he breathe underwater?
He can hold his breath, I bet.
That much?
I bet.
The only thing I personally know about him is that the only thing that he can't do is kryptonite, so...
That's pretty true. He's an excellent tap dancer.
I mean, maybe Aquaman helps him. Maybe Aquaman comes down and, like, puts a bubble around him. He's like, yo, Mariana Shreds again. What's up? They're, like, workout buddies.
That could be.
And so, like, while Superman is doing his push-ups on the Marianas Trench, Aquaman's, like, bench pressing a dolphin or something.
Why not? Although, at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, that dolphin would be deader than dead.
So would fucking Superman, but I guess...
I don't think that's true.
Well, I bet he bench presses Aquaman.
Maybe that is what happens. I don't know. But I don't think that bench pressing Aquaman...
Well, I knew Aquaman was a hunk,
So
but...
basically, you went into this question saying there is no possible way that he could ever get those muscles.
I've given you, like, 72 incredible explanations.
Amy hates them all.
I never said that I hated them. I did say that I hated push-ups on regular Earth ground because that's...
So she just hated your ideas.
Yeah, I
Dana.
just hated your ideas.
Okay. I guess I'll just go swim to the bottom of the Marianas Trench then.
You don't even know where it is. Tell me which ocean it's in.
The Pacific?
That's a good guess. It is. It is. Damn it.
I'm dying.
That was the most obvious ocean.
You'll never guess it. What ocean is it in?
Out of the 5 oceans there are, the most popular and enormous one.
Yeah. I don't know where the marinara sauce trench is. Maybe in Italy. Oh,
But
God.
do you know where the tartar sauce trench is?
Greece. Tartarus.
Why is that where your brain went? I was like, where's the fish?
The tartar sauce sounds like Tartarus, and that's a Greek mythology.
I know. I get it. Good for you. Check on the
So
box.
it's not in an ocean then, it's in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, it's in the
is what you're
Mediterranean
saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very deep
tartar
sea.
sauce trench. But I was just like, where is the place with the most fish? Because of tartar sauce being what you eat with fish sticks.
I know, the only issue is pretty much every ocean is going to have a ton of those things.
I know, that's why I was laughing at myself. And then Ida just comes up with Tartarus, and I'm like, I guess that's better.
It is better.
Amy hates that I'm better than her.
You're not better than me.
Oh, it's getting heated.
I did say I was the best Fess at the beginning.
You're not better than me.
All right. You keep telling yourself that.
Oh,
She's going to edit this out of the podcast.
I feel like I need to like get in the middle and stop you two from beating each other up, but we're actually all miles apart. So,
You're downstairs.
From you.
Well, I already know I'm the best Fess, so.
You're not, but it's cute to see you try.
You're the distressed Fess. We already established this.
Best and distressed. They can go together.
You're the best at distress, maybe.
There you go. You're not supposed to be the one with the ego. What is that about?
Maybe today I want to. I've been practicing self-care.
She's feeling herself.
I'm feeling myself today.
So I think I have an answer. I think Superman bench presses the weight of Ina's ego today to get ripped because that is mighty heavy.
Perhaps.
Guess what, guys?
What?
It's time for... What two are you?
Ooh.
What two childhood games are you?
Right away, I'm going to say Amy is Elephant.
Elephant!
Elephant! That's in case any listeners don't know. Maybe you're too young for it, but I think it actually still exists. So maybe you're too old for it. Anyway, it's this small elephant made of plastic, and he has this like inflatable nose that shoots butterflies in the air, and you catch him with a net. And it's the best thing ever. It's joyful, it's whimsical, it's silly, and it's colorful because the butterflies come in all sorts of colors. And also, since they're flying around, it's kind of crazy. Just like all the thoughts that fly around in Amy's head, ideas bouncing off of each other.
Yeah.
You gotta catch them with a net so they don't get away.
True.
Roasted.
Hey.
Amazing.
I agree.
Marissa's cooties.
Oh.
Because it's basically you just build your own little cute animal cooties things.
By animal, you mean a cootie bug.
Yes,
you build your own cootie bug.
Build your own cootie bugs. And one, I feel like all of the expressions that you can make for the cooties are expressions that Marissa makes on the regular.
That's a good point.
She is full of cooties. No, I'm kidding. But she...
Oh.
I'm kidding.
The real reason I'm single.
She's goofy. She's got a lot of problems.
Roasted.
But also, she is the best. And I was obsessed with that game.
You really were.
I really was.
And also, I can pop my body parts out like Mr. Potato Head.
We don't talk about that a lot, but you can.
I can. I do it all the time. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, she's got the loosest joints in the game.
That's actually true.
Also, colorful personality. They're colorful cooties.
There we are.
Ina is Cat's Cradle.
Ooh.
Which is the game that you play with the string around your hands and you make like the designs and you have to like learn how to sort of hold down on the string and flip it around in order to make another cat's cradle. And then when you fucked it up, you lost. And it's because Ina is clever and creative and able to like make things out of bad situations, but also a little high strung.
A little bit.
And full of herself today.
But today, anyway.
Today, anyway.
But also, she can bend herself all funny.
She can bend herself all funny.
Just like those cat's cradle thing. She does this thing with her arms where she like twists them around her entire body while holding her hands together.
She becomes a cat's cradle.
She cat cradles herself.
Yes. That's true.
It's really disturbing to watch, but it's exactly Cat's Cradle, but with her body.
The really odd contortionism happening.
Hell yeah. Round 2. Ding, ding, ding.
Ina is Operation.
Anxiety Central.
Yes, Anxiety Central. I mean, the main dude in that, he's funny looking, and I'm not saying Ina's funny looking, but she's got that funny, goofy vibe to her, you know what I mean? So it's not really about the looks, it's the goofiness.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the puns. Everything's a pun.
Everything is a pun.
In it. They're not using literal bones, they're just like giving you jokes. And anyway, so you have to put him in without alarming the guy, and it's near impossible, you know? To do it without setting off his alarm.
You have to be steady. You have to be focused. And in trying to do both of those things, you become the most anxious hoe on the face of the earth.
Yes.
Because that is such a nerve-wracking
And
game.
when you do, he's easily startled.
He
you know?
is easily startled.
You press the metal, he's like, beep. And like, literally yesterday, I yelled boo out from like behind a doorway. Ina nearly died.
I did. I'm easily startled, Supreme.
It's really great.
Absolutely, she's Operation.
That's it.
All right, well, Amy is Simon Says.
Ooh.
She's bossy. She try to trick people. She always thinks she's the one that's right.
Fair.
I am.
She's the one who wants to be in charge. She is Simon, essentially.
Well, but also, though, she's distractible, I would say, you know?
Yes,
She's a bit ADD.
A bit?
So, well, I'm trying to be nice.
Thank you.
But she's very ADD.
I'm ADD Central.
So, you know, she's also the people that lose Simon Says, because it's like, you know, tells you what to do, but I didn't say Simon Says, and Amy just does it. She's like, yay! You know, this is not literal, this is metaphorical, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
She gets an idea, she does it, and then realizes, oh, this has nothing to do with the topic, or something like that.
Yes, absolutely.
There it is.
Marissa is Kerplunk.
I love Kerplunk!
Which is essentially when you have a bunch of sticks in this like glass, this plastic container, and you've got marbles in there, and you have to pull out the sticks and get the least amount of marbles to fall, essentially.
It's almost like Jenga.
Yeah.
Marissa's kerplunk because she often goes kerplunk.
Oh, God.
Roasted.
So accident prone. She has a lot of marbles, but she loses them on the regular.
Oh.
But the thing is, she could go, like, you could be pulling all the straws, but it'll only take one. Like, you could do it all day long. She is incredibly resilient. But then, like, eventually, they'll pull one out, and literally, Marissa will have an adult-sized tantrum.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. It's truly a glorious thing to behold, I mean, in the most horrifying way.
I mean, to be fair, I just go ahead and have those sensory overload meltdowns. It's,
Yeah, exactly.
there it is.
I think I've made my case pretty well.
I think
Yep. Said everything I would have said.
so. Also, marbles are pretty.
The marbles
And so
are
am
pretty.
I.
In conclusion, Amy is Elephun and Simon says, Marissa is Cooties and Kerplunk, and Ina is Cat's Cradle and Operation.
Woohoo!
Ooh.
Alright, guys, this question is very important to me. Are the Teletubbies and Lord of the Rings set in the same universe?
LOL, you saw that post, didn't you?
Honestly, there's nothing in the world of Lord of the Rings that tells me that it's not true.
Yeah, because the similarities, obviously, they live in like a hobbit hole looking dwelling in the ground. The Teletubbies do.
A little hill in the
Yes.
ground.
They have something that watches over them that is burning at all times.
And it has eyes.
Is it the Eye of Sauron, or is it the entire baby face of Sauron? Who's to say? What other similarities are there?
There's 4 of them. They're funny creatures. And we know that hobbits may not be the only species of creatures that dwell in the Hobbiton area, because they described, in Gollum's backstory, they described that as Smeagol, he was something similar to a hobbit. They didn't say he was a hobbit. They said he was a similar creature.
That's
which
true.
means that they have those. And I'm not saying Teletubbies are incredibly similar, but if they live in a similar way...
I mean, that would completely explain why Smeagol in that flashback looked like a chartreuse Teletubby. I was like really
he
confused
did look a
by
lot
that.
like Tinky Winky.
Yeah, he was like Tinky Winky, but like a...
Oh wait, Dipsy's the chartreuse one. Sorry.
Oh, I was trying to pick one that they weren't. Okay, a blue Teletubby.
Ah,
And why he was like a sky blue Teletubby.
yes.
I was like really confused by that, but this makes total sense now.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, isn't this breaking immersion to make Smeagol a sky blue Teletubby? But no, that's just his species.
Here's the thing though. Teletubbies is a TV show of the Lord of the Rings universe for children.
Ah.
Yeah, it is.
That explains it all. That's why they like singing and dancing,
That's why Baby Sun strikes fear so much into my heart.
and they love eating.
Mm-hmm.
They like to eat custard. And I bet hobbits do.
That custard was simultaneously the most delicious and horrifying thing I'd ever seen.
I don't think there's anything horrifying about the custard. The horrifying
The
thing
color.
is that weird vacuumy dispenser dude.
Also that. The color of the custard was the horrifying part. It was like bright purple, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, there is something deeply unnerving. But you know what else? They speak a different language. And, Middle Earth is full of many languages. So that just furthers my point.
Yes, absolutely.
And they're covered in hair. They're like furry. And hobbits are very hairy people. So they're a creature not far off from a hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Also, we forgot to mention that hobbits do have a television in their stomachs.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yes, they do.
That's why Frodo was almost caught. Well, honestly, several times when he was almost caught, because his TV was like not working. For some reason, I think the ring gave it interference.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It was how
I
Sam
think-
was able to find him when he was like taken by Shelob, and he was wrapped up in a whole spider web, dying. But, his TV was still on.
And then Sam whipped out his purse, one very similar to the one Poe has,
Yes,
right?
mhm.
Because they're descendants, right? And he beat Shelob with
Yes.
it until she let go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it went.
Definitely.
Wait, can we fan cast this? So, obviously, Poe is Sam, we've just said.
Poe is Sam.
Frodo would be, I guess, Tinky Winky.
No, I think Frodo is Dipsy. Because Dipsy's the more serious one. I think he's kind of grumpy, but, he's the closest to serious. Because Lala and Tinky Winky are off the wall. So that's gotta be Merry and Pippin.
Mhm.
But Lala is Pippin, because Lala's the most off
Yes.
the wall.
Yes.
I mean, her name does imply it even.
Yes. And so Mary would be Tinky Winky then? Interesting.
Yes.
Not what I was expecting. Tinky Winky is famously the tallest.
Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Tinky Winky's the one that carries the purse. So, sorry, I lied earlier, but
That's fine.
Frodo stole it from Mary earlier in the
I
movie.
always thought that Tinky Winky was very, like, fatherly, though. You might remember it more than I do.
I don't remember their personalities very well. It's not exactly a show we watched a lot as kids
That's
because it was
very
very
true.
disturbing.
Well, our mother famously has said we are not allowed to watch Teletubbies because she was afraid we were going to end up talking like them.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. They spoke like a gooba dooba.
Yeah, she did not want us to talk like babies. But here's the thing. We were going to do that anyway if we wanted to. Like,
I was about to say, unfortunately, Ina and I still do talk in doobops. Sometimes we're like,
doop.
ba-da-doop. And I know the listeners think that we're kidding, and we're not. And that's the sad part.
listeners, it's hard coming home sometimes because I've been gone for nearly 10 years at this point. It's been
That's crazy.
literally 8 years. And so sometimes I come home to these girls who they've still lived in the same house all 8 of those years and they've changed in certain ways. Like I come home and all of a sudden they're like, beep boop, bop boop, bop bop, oop, dee dee boop boop. And I'm like, what are you saying? But then they like have communicated something and all of a sudden, like Marissa's got a drink in her hand that was delivered by Karina. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
How did you
I
get
mean-
that from this?
The point is you say something, right? Your tone makes a slight implication of whether or not you're making a request or a statement, and then your gestures and body language communicates the rest. So we might as well not even be talking. It's mostly
Right.
with the gestures.
But we do also have a little language that we've developed of saying
Yeah,
things are good, bad, or okay.
we do.
We do.
That's for another time.
Yes.
What Teletubby would you be?
I've always liked Poe because he was red and the smallest. And red's my favorite color, and I'm the shortest. So,
I do feel like you would be Poe. Mm-hmm. He is zany, so that you're pretty zany.
I think they're all pretty zany, though. Amy is Lala because she is yellow, Amy is blonde, and Lala is, I think, the most energetic.
I think that's true. Ina is Tinky Winky because she's the tallest. I was going to say purple, but purple does not mean anything to Ina.
That's not true. It's my second favorite.
That's their
color.
second
Oh,
favorite
is
color.
it? Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
so
It is.
Tinky Winky is purple, which is Ina's second favorite color. I want to say he has like a more mature vibe to him somehow, and Ina can be that one.
I mean, he carries a bag. How mature can you? That's the sign of maturity.
You're right.
I mean, yes, it means he has thought ahead about how he's going to carry his items.
Exactly.
Poe is going to carry his items. Beauteous. Well, guys, that's all the ice breaking we can do today. And we could break more ice, but I'm trying to save that shit for Superman so he can get some kind of workout in. If you'd like to send us a question, message us on Facebook or Instagram at Fess Up Podcast. Send us an email at fessuppodcast@gmail.com. Tweet a question at us at fessup_podcast. And don't forget to use the hashtag #UbFest. Send us new questions or let us know what happened when you used our icebreakers with your friends. Share our podcast with everyone you know and get the word out there about your 3 wacky friends. That's it for me. I have been Amy Fess.
I've been Marissa Fess.
And I've been Ina Fess.
And Hollywood, you need to make a movie about Bakku the Sexiest Hutt. Thank you and goodbye.
Yes.
Bye! This is an audio nightmare.
Aww.
I'm trying to think of more things that are log-shaped, I guess.
I don't think they have to be log-shaped.
Log shape. Poo poo.
All right, so Ina wants to eat shit.
Only if it's shaped like a pancake, though.